Gonna say I actually got a compliment on episodes featuring you this last Saturday at the track. And that guy's like, dude, you got to have that Dave Drakes guy on some more. I like having him on. I was like, I was shocked and appalled, and I immediately checked that person into a mental institution.
Yeah, I paid him.
Yeah, exactly.
What's up, everybody? It's Dave Drakes with The Collective Experience, and we are back for another Foul Plugs Moto show, and I know you guys have missed this. I know I have. It's been a minute since we got this into cadence. Yeah, they have. Come on, Brad, shut up. Joining me is a guy that you guys will be familiar with. He has been part of maybe our first couple Foul Plugs all the way up to this point and way, way further back than that. It is the one and only Brad Gebhardt from Big MX Radio. What's up, Brad?
Hey, Dave, and shout out to both viewers of this show. We do this for both of you. I wish I knew your names, but I do appreciate both of you for watching. We are broadcasting live from the Big MX Radio casting couch. Absolutely loving it. And Dave Drake, we are deep entrenched in the motocross off season, which means there's always things to talk about. October 1st has come and gone. There are press releases, there are bike switching hands, and you and I are here to talk about it. Can't wait for another episode here on Foul Plugs.
Yeah, I'm pumped. And shout out to our two followers and viewers, my mom and my uncle. Thank you very much. Brad and I we're just talking about the woes of getting views. So if you guys enjoy this, if you enjoy the channel, if you like what we were all about, hit the subscribe button, share with your friends and family, spread the word.
Hit the like. It's free.
Yeah, it's free. Hit the like. I mean, come on, do it for your bros.
We dislikes on that, but that's cool.
We do that on passion. We love this, and our channel's got some pretty cool content. Check that out. We just finished up our Bet with Jet edit, as well as the behind the scenes leading up to the Bet with Jet, the bike builds, the shooting, the whole shebang. Check it out.
Is part 2 out yet?
Part 2's out. Yeah, it got dropped this morning.
Perfect.
Or, sorry, Monday morning. Sorry.
So, nice. I gotta go check that out.
That is out. So we're gonna get the views up on that one, and we've got a lot more coming. Brad, what has been up with you lately, man? We haven't checked in for a while. I'm sure everybody that's familiar with the Collective Experience has not seen you doing anything on YouTube, definitely on the social media front, definitely on the podcast front, but we haven't seen your face, dude. What you been up to?
Fair enough. You know what? The last episode of the Big MX Radio podcast, episode 827, with Danica White, as well as Ryder McNabb, the Canadian hotshot kid from the great province of Manitoba, where I call home. A little double dose of Canadiana for you, a little bit of CanCon for those who know what that means. For the podcast that dropped last Friday, or I guess it was two weeks ago Friday, but absolutely love it. The podcast is clicking, and I actually, right after this, I'm going to go out and buy a catcher's mitt because I let this summer slip through my fingers. I don't know how I let it happen. Perhaps it was the dislocated shoulder that started the year. Maybe it was basically working every single day throughout the month of August. But either way, we finally got back on the bike this last Saturday.
Nice. How was
One of my favorite tracks, Grunthal Centennial Raceway, where I raced my first race back in 2001, and it was absolutely perfect. Perfect day for riding, perfect weather, and for a guy who's only been on the bike 6 times this whole year, I'd like to think that I rode pretty well given this whole circumstances. So hats off to that. Absolutely. I'll throw my shoulder out, patting myself in the back on that one. But
there you go, buddy.
It's been awesome, dude. And honestly, I've just been so encouraged by all of these, like the posts that have been coming out lately. Yeah. Amateur guys are switching teams. Professional guys are switching teams.
A lot of
new guys with new color. I don't know why, but like Eli Tomac's gear on a Yamaha already looks better than it ever did on a Kawasaki. It makes no sense.
Really?
I think the red, the blue and the white was
okay. Sharp. I'm gonna say I love Eli on blue. I will say I thought the Cowie setups, dude, were just extra crispy.
There was a few, but I just feel like the Monster Claw was always too pronounced on his stuff. Like I really like the stuff that he was in. At least that
nice
that
contrast. Nice
I'm
contrast.
not a huge Alpine Star gear guy. Like
yeah.
their boots, amazing boots.
Well, you and I couldn't fit it anyway, dude. It's made for skinny Italian dudes. We can't fit that.
No, I know. I've had this
bro.
conversation with Chris Keeper a number of times. So,
not happening.
The neoprene, the spandex stuff, it's not for everybody. He argues with me on that.
Not fitting, dude. Not fitting.
Like I'm like this is an XL, and I'm pushing out the limits on this thing.
It ain't working for us,
Indonesia, bro. So yeah. But either way, no, I mean, like we got so many cool things going on with the sport right now. We got Ryder D finally back from a broken.
Well, hold on. We'll get into that. Don't jump the gun. We'll get into the AMs. Don't worry. I don't want you to blow up the schedule. So
unlike the bedroom, Dave's in charge here.
Leave me alone. So again, guys, we're back. I'm excited for this. I'm gonna be cheesing this whole time because I've done this in a while. We're gonna get into more consistent cadence. So with that, Brad, like you said, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of changes, a lot of color swaps, a lot of brand swaps, a lot
wife
of guys
swaps.
Wife swaps. You and I talked a little bit about who we swap chicks with, but that's for a different pod. So I want to get into because we haven't done it yet, dude. Remember, we haven't talked since outdoors. I want to do a 2-minute wrap up of outdoors, looking at the 250 and 450. I know you and I think we texted on it a little bit, but we haven't done an official breakdown of our final thoughts of the outdoor series. I know we're late, whatever, sue us.
This is why these don't get views.
We're gonna get into a better cadence. Leave me alone. What do you want, dude? All right. Life happens. We're gonna get into better cadence. We're gonna come out with these a lot more frequently on a regimented time slot. All right. So
I'll hold you to that shit.
All right, bet. Brad, give me your 1 minute or 30-second thoughts on the 250 class for outdoors. How did we end up? What are your thoughts, man?
Well, it was the tale of multiple seasons, wasn't it? Yeah. There were certain times during the season Justin Cooper was your guy. He had the speed, he had the starts, he had the ability to come through the pack and the fitness and all that stuff. You had a guy like Jeremy Martin, he's a 2-time champion in this class, and like he had some races where you're like, oh my God, this guy can't be beat. He's going on the outside everywhere and just absolutely crushing people.
Iron Man.
But then an injury-riddled season where he wasn't able to finish it, and that was really, really too bad. And then you got the kid, number 18 in your program, number 1 in your hearts, especially if you bet against him, and that is the Lawrence.
Yes.
Jet Lawrence. The Jets comes in, swoops in, grabs a bunch of people to join his squadron, and he takes that championship. Yeah. But he did so having a very humdrum start to the season. He was able to finish it off strong, and that's why he's your champion.
I thought it was just that. And, you and I go back and forth. Me and other people who are around our age go back and forth. I thought it was a little bit disappointing to not see Faulkner. People didn't bring him up this year. But thank God for the gem of a human that is Joe Shimoda, because that guy is single-handedly saving Kawasaki on their bottom line, saving PC, and bringing notoriety back to that team, which dominated the forefront of the 250 class for well over a couple of decades.
They've got a jet of their own coming up next year.
Yeah, they do. They've got a gnarly guy, but we've seen in the past how many times you and I talked about kids that didn't, meet the hype. So I don't want to put any pressure, any hype around anyone coming up. I want to see what they're doing right now in that damn class. And like you said, Jet was hands down the most consistent and best rider, super fast. Cool to see a young guy moving through the pack and making a name for himself, nabbing that title. And one thing that I regret about this class this year, Brad, you just talked about it. I wish that we got a Jeremy Martin that did not go down an Ironman. That was one of the most exciting races I've seen in this class in a long time. It looked like both of those guys were ready to duke it out. Jet was looking extra fiery, extra aggressive, and holy crap was Martin coming around those corners wide open. So I thought it was a great season.
He was coming. That was we got robbed that moto. We could have seen something real special there.
Yes.
I like, for all intents and purposes, Jeremy Martin was your fastest guy, and he kind of was the last 2 years in a row, really. Yes. Like, obviously held back a little bit by the 2020 CR 250. which just never seemed to be up to snuff in comparison to those Yamahas. He jumps on a Yamaha, and that was the answer. Of course, they find a little something with Jet and Hunter going to HRC. Those bikes were improved. I think like they just seem to gel with them better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all I got to say is next year's championship is going to be very, very interesting. Now let's do 1 minute on the 450s.
Exactly. So I want to start off this one by talking about just how good Dylan Ferrandis is. And so many people did not have this guy on their radar going into the outdoor season. Myself, I had him picked as number one. I thought Dylan has been phenomenal since he got here on the number 108 Blue Crew bike. Thought the guy was phenomenal, and I saw this coming from a mile away. I did not suspect, however, that he would be so unopposed for so many races. I thought for sure it'd be a slug out fest between him and Tomac, maybe even him and Roczen. Did not see it transpiring where he had almost like a year's lead in points over these guys. Kind of crazy. Overall, I thought it was a great outdoor season for the 450s. I'm glad that Kenny was up there for so many motos. He's plagued by inconsistency. It seems like the 3/4 mark of any series. I hope he gets that figured out for next year, because as a Ken Roczen 94 fan, I would love to see that guy get more wins and challenge all the way to the end for these championship titles. Lackluster Tomac, but I think the rejuvenation is going to come with that new Blue Crew ride, which we're going to mention a little bit. Overall, awesome, phenomenal season. Brad, what are your thoughts?
First and foremost, what a treat. What a treat of a season that we had the luxury of being able to watch over and over again in stunning HD.
Yes.
Thanks
to good battles.
Great battles. Unbelievable battles and battles for the lead. There were very few motos where with like 2 laps to go or 3 laps to go, you're like, oh, that guy is 45 seconds. See you later. It's never happening. We saw a lot of last lap passes and just straight up great racing. Guys going 1-1. I think we had 2 or 3 different guys who went 1-1 on weekends. I know we had at least 3 guys who went 1-1. That's honestly pretty rare for the 450 class. There's usually that sort of like that upper echelon guy and then 2 other guys that sort of like kind of nip at his heels. This year we had 3 legitimate contenders and who all kind of had different seasons. And I'll tell you this, consistency wins championships. And I'm not talking about just how consistent Dylan Ferrandis was throughout the summer. He's been on that team since he was number 108. Yeah. Like familiar faces, familiar people you're working with. You get into the flow and the consistency of him working in that program, being with DV, all of those fun things, all those that adds up to a championship.
Exactly. And hats out for that team for making that 450 work. Everyone's been talking about it. What they did with the development of that motorcycle to make it work so well as a non-factory outfit. Yes, they're getting factory support, we know, but they are not the factory team per se. I thought that was super cool that they were able to do that with such a potent motor. Because think about it, Brad. A couple years ago, we were laughing at the Yamaha 450 and 250. The backwards engine thing was super loud up front, super crazy in the airbox area. Now they're the bee's knees of the class leader. So super cool to see that turn around. Brad, you mentioned it off rip. It was past October 1st. We're playing silly season games. We're playing musical chairs, musical seats, musical teams. We have some ones to highlight. The big one that you mentioned was Tomac going to Yamaha from Kawasaki. Now, for anyone that follows along with any sort of moto podcast, you knew about this back in May. No, not a big secret. But what are your thoughts? Worst kept secret in moto. Yeah, worst kept secret in moto. What are your thoughts on Tomac going from the mean green machine to now the leader of the industry right now in Blue Crew? Is this a money move? Is this I just wanted the front fender color change? Like, what is it?
I think this is a move. Eli Tomac sees it's the twilight of his career, and he'd like to, at the very least, go out on his own terms. In that respect, I think he doesn't. I don't think Kawasaki gives him all of the kind of that carte blanche, do whatever you want with the motorcycle. I think they give him options. And he's able to pick from certain options, and that's what you get. You get what you get. You don't get upset. But with and I think in the past he's felt like I need to have more options. I need to be able to have more say about how this motorcycle handles. And then that's something going all the way back to 2018, even though he was very successful in that Supercross championship and didn't win it. However, he still, like, he was always looking for stuff. Like, if you looked at the pit bits of that particular season, different races, different triple clamps, different all kinds of stuff happening on the motorcycle, but not always being exactly where he wanted to go with it. Like, one moment he's on the factory, like the works triple clamps, the next weekend he's on X Drink. Like, you don't even know
changing like that is never a good sign of a rider. Like, we feel like Dungey testing a bunch, and like, look at the mental games that play with him. So
for
never
sure,
a good sign.
I totally. And you know what? I think, like I just said, consistency wins championships. When you're consistently feeling comfortable with your motorcycle, you're going to win championships. I don't feel like that's something that Eli Tomac has always been able to say about the Kawasaki from week to week to week. And I feel like he's going to be able to find it with this brand new machine. I think that Yamaha and the Star Racing boys, they have a different recipe of how to get this thing to go. I don't see him moving up as much in Supercross as I think that he's going to move forward outdoors. I think that he comes back and if full healthy, obviously all of these predictions and these sort of like analysis is based off of guys being healthy the entire year and with a whole head of steam. I think that he can come back and win that championship again. I totally think he can do it. Supercross is going to be a question mark. And I think it's going to depend on how comfortable he feels with that motorcycle right off the hop on Supercross. I know he's already been riding Supercross. He went out, tried to find some elk, didn't find any, chasing them around the hills of Colorado. He got skunked out, heads back to the practice track, unfulfilled, but ready to rip. I think breathing some fresh air into that compound, into Cortez, Colorado, where he calls home, I think that's going to be a positive thing for him. And I expect an improved Eli Tomac for possibly his last year, but it might not be his last year. He does have that 1 year option. So if things go well, we could see him in 2022, 2023 as well.
That's going to be fun. And I'm really excited to see what shakes out with him. Another rider that switched up was probably everyone's favorite, we call him film crew guy, Lone Ranger. I'm talking about El Hombre, Jason Anderson, making the switch from the Husqvarna to the factory Cowie side, taking Eli's ride. And I think for me, this change is pretty significant because if you remember, he went pro with that team. Like they were the Suzuki
the entity that was the Rockstar Suzuki
team
that became Rockstar KTM for a hot minute. I think Millsaps rode for that team for 13 seconds.
Hey, do you remember Millsaps leading points for like 3/4 of that season, the year he was battling with Trey? No one talks about that. No one remembers or talks about. It wasn't
until Daytona that year where he ate shit.
Dude, what would have happened if he would have stayed up and did not go down to Daytona?
Full bill of health that season. I think that, although of course RV ends up winning that championship, I think that it would have at least came down to the final races. I think people forgot about how strong RV was down the stretch that year. But Davey, I think that was Davey's best year by far.
Dude,
aside from he did get second in an outdoor championship in 2007. But that was, I think he was at his absolute peak. He was back on Suzuki for the first time since going there right after, coming off of the steel frame carbureted Suzuki Kawasaki combo bike that he was on in 2006 and 7, I guess. Was he on there in 2007 as well? 04, 05. And then he switched to 06 on straight to the 450 class. Wildly enough.
No, he went Honda too. He went into a Honda title.
Honda 250S.
Carbureted.
450s outdoors. Don't fuck with me, Dave. I know my shit.
I thought you still meant Suzuki. Straight to Suzuki 450. Sorry, I thought you were mistaken. Never mind.
On the Honda.
Never mind.
But to answer your question, or to sort of just finish off what you were saying about Jason Anderson. First of all, El Hombre back on Kawasaki for the first time since that was the last place he called home on aside from this team. He was a Team Green Kawasaki rider his last year of amateur.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's gonna be back there. Back when it was the Traxxas.
Yes.
Team
So
Green Kawasaki
when I think
team.
of amateurs and Jason Anderson, I always think Suzuki.
I always think KTM.
Or goddamn KTM too. This guy's been all over the place, man.
Yeah, he was all over. He had that no link 250F that he sort of like turned into that class. Him and Blake Wharton as well. Yep. Back when Blake was literally racing a 65 and a 450 in the same weekend at Winter. Is it Winter O's? No, not Winter O's.
Mini O's.
Not it wasn't. It was the what's the in Vegas.
World Mini.
World Mini. He did, it was that World Mini. He raced a 65, 85, 125, all the way up to a 450 throughout that entire week.
How?
Because he was just small, and he was small enough for, maybe not, 65 might be exaggerating, but he was like, literally, he was in like 12 different classes. It was insane. I miss amateur racing and the pickle and like
the
pickle. Oh, so great. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, I think it's cool. I think he's gonna have the Kawasaki and him are gonna gel. He looks good so far in all of those Team Pride videos. Yeah, like film guy Tom is just fucking killing it. Fucking Tommy Tenders just killing it with the edits. I think he's gonna be happy there. It kind of reminds me a lot of the like AC. El Hombre reminds me of Eli and Josh Grant, but maybe
why is that?
Just because like Josh Grant, like so naturally talented, not known as much of a trainer. Obviously, El Hombre no longer with Alden, but a former Supercross champion. Like, I think this could possibly be an opportunity where for the first time in a lot of years, well, I guess last year it was included with that as well, but if with a healthy AC, you could have both those guys in the top 5.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that.
2 Kawasaki's in the top 5 means that there's going to be some KTM, Gas, and Husky riders that are not happy.
Yes.
So there's some potential there. Does that turn into Supercross and outdoor wins? I don't know that it does. I don't see a huge improvement, but I think it's just going to be cool to see him on a new motorcycle and all that fun stuff. So thumbs up to El Hombre. That guy is just good people. If I could, I swear to God right now, if I could have a night of just like going out on the town, beverages and the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
El Hombre.
Let's see where this is going. No, dude, I think that's right. I think he's the only rider besides Mookie that when they made this change looked like they were gelling on that bike immediately. Like they had steez from the get. So I think that's pretty rad. Now talking about Mookie making the transition over, I think that was not really a shock to as many people, but it wasn't as it was a much more better kept secret than some of the other transitions that we've seen or heard about in the industry. And I got to say, I like Mookie on the Rockstar Husky. I love the fact. Dude, he could ride a tricycle and I'd still be a huge fan. But I know, dude,
I'm interested in an in shape Mookie,
and that's what I was gonna say. The bike and him look like they gel well. But dude, you get a guy that is that talented, and we've heard from interviews, like a lot of people, even James Stewart Sr. saying that he thinks that Malcolm has way more natural talent than James ever had. James is just a hard worker. But go back and watch. It was a Swap Moto one. I just listened to it not too long ago.
I'll argue that. But James,
I mean,
James would know better than
that's
I do,
that's what Dad's saying, man. That's not. Hey, I think they're both gnarly. He would know better than me. But I'm excited to see when you take somebody that has that much damn natural talent, that much like natural athleticism. Dude's built like a solid like lineman for the most part, and he's gonna be just completely massaged through with like all of Alden's elite coaching and training and physical just trickery and magic.
You can buy into that program,
dude,
and avoid burnout. That is the like, and this is I'm terrible for going back to this line over and over. That is the tip of the spear that we could possibly see from Malcolm Stewart. It's the program.
Yes,
he's like, obviously, like he was with Yamaha all of last year, and the year prior to that he was with the Bullfrog Spas guys. But a number of years he did not even race Anaheim 1 because he wasn't on a solid footing for a team. Sometimes he was with JGR, sometimes he was doing his own deal with the motorsport.com Suzuki. kind of moving all over the place. He shows up at Anaheim too, and somehow he's in opening ceremonies. People were pissed. I was pumped. I was the only guy that got an interview with him that day. No big deal.
Attaboy.
But yeah, no, I got the scoop. That was a big day for me. But I think this is an opportunity for all those Mookie believers.
Yep.
If there's a year, 2022.
Dude, I am so thrilled. And you talked about it, man. I don't think it really, the bikes nowadays, they're all so good, right? I don't think it really matters. Plus, the team can make those bikes.
And that bike does great in Supercross.
Yeah, it does. It won a
the KTM red.
Yeah, they're great. They're great.
Yeah.
They're great bikes. Everyone knows that. They're great bikes. I think, having Alden in his corner, having a solid plan, and coming into the season, just Alden, Baker's factory fit, that's a lethal combination, dude. That's one person that I think I better hear Mathis and everyone else talking about Mookie this year, because that is going to be a program to keep your eyes on. Another change up that I wanted to note was I think it's pretty clear. Plessinger's going to KTM. No big news there. I think that's going to be a solid move for a guy that's seems like he adapts to different things pretty well. Lighthearted, having a good time. Do you see any
first time not on a Yamaha in his entire career?
Yeah.
The last time that he was on a KTM styled motorcycle, it was an 80
minis.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
He's like not even joking. He was probably racing woods.
Oh, geez.
With Shane Watts somewhere.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's gonna.
But yeah, so you know what I mean. It could. I think with a full bill of health and some positivity.
Yep.
Plessinger can put in as good, if not better, of a season as he did this year. Like he was a threat, and he was continuing to look better and better. Yep. I looked for him to have the same and also continue on that upward trajectory.
I think so as well. It's going to be cool to see him bring a bit more character, a bit more loosey-gooseness to a very professional Red Bull KTM. Because I think they do a great job with their program, but man, we're missing some personalities from there, right? I know Cooper's got a big following, but he's not as just harebrained and erratic and outgoing as maybe some of the other counterparts, say like a Jet Lawrence or Aaron Plessinger. So super cool to see him coming in with a little bit more personality, a little bit more character to that squad. I think that's the only person that made a big major change in the 450. One thing that I did want to bring up, everyone has been talking about Cody Schock. Cody Schock this, Cody Schock that. Love the dude. I think he's phenomenal on the bike. Plus he's an FXR guy like myself and looks damn good in it. Style king all day.
Not anymore.
Well, come on. He was for this year. Where do you think he's going for this upcoming year, man? Like, are you hearing any rumblings and rumors, or where do you think he's going, and where would you like to see him? I'll throw that question.
I think honestly, I think East Coast on a Phoenix Honda would be probably ideal. More time on a Supercross track, 250 Supercross, where I think that he would probably be most comfortable, safest, everything in between. I think that would probably be the best place for him. And then 450 outdoors, just because it's so hard to keep if you're not a factory level team, keeping a 250F together all year long is just hard. That like I've talked to guys about keeping those bikes together, and especially for nationals, where one weekend you're in Colorado and then you're at High Point. Like it's so difficult. So I would like to see that. I'd like to see him on a Phoenix Racing Honda. I think that would probably be the best bet. I was actually really surprised to see that a team like Hep Suzuki didn't give him a shot. Not to say that obviously they're going with Justin Bogle. Speaking of a couple of more guys that are going to be changing hands a little bit, obviously you have Shane McElrath and the Wizard there.
Max Anstey,
straight out of Hogwarts, and he's going to be over at the RMC ATV KTM, the letter team that are on orange bikes. So they're that's a couple other guys changing hands. But I was surprised to see that we didn't see someone end up on or a guy like Schock ended up on that Suzuki, given the fact that they would have had the option to still put him on a maybe like West Coast Supercross on a 250. still let him develop, and then be able to like put in those rides outdoors. That I think he's just got heart. He's got that heart in his sleeve kind of guy that he's going to continue to push and like claw for all of those results at the beginning or at the end of the season. Like obviously his results at the end of the season a little bit inflated given how many guys we had out, but with a full lineup for next year, say like the series opens at Hangtown, I can seriously see Cody Schock in the 12 to 15 range. Like he's got the fitness, he's got the starts.
Yep.
And I was actually surprised to see that that they didn't end up taking more of a stab at him. But I think he's going to be back on Hondas. He's and wearing Moose gear.
So if
Thankfully.
say Schock comes on that squad, where do you see him if it comes to outdoors? And if he does have a good outdoor season like he did this past year, where he's top 6, top 7. What's that mean for 23? Does he finally get the bump to a factory squad, or do you see him continuously being that, I guess, B team sort of kind of rider?
I think he's Ben LeMay.
Okay.
I love Ben LeMay, and Ben LeMay has like made a great little career for himself. Could I see him maybe do a fill-in ride? Maybe if his Supercross skills improve drastically. Yeah. Like he's got the grease. The guy, like, if you watch him in practice, that bike goes upside down, sideways, and backwards.
Yep.
It does. Cody Schock, ladies and gentlemen. But I really don't know that you'd see consistently him end up on a ride. Like, where would you like to see him? Like, essentially, is he like a second spot on Rocky Mountain?
I thought Rocky Mountain would be a really good fit for him. Honestly, I think he
I thought so too. Him or their Hep, honestly.
Stuff. Yeah. And the only thing that I would say about Hep is
Smart Top
Smart Top could be a good one too. People forget about Smart Top. The only thing about Hep is
they got freckle now.
The bike is they're just a little on the heavy side by maybe 5 or so pounds. That's the one thing that I'm hearing from some of the guys. But other than that, I mean, I think they're pretty good damn bikes. And 450s, dude, you can give up 10 horsepower and still be solid. Those things are so freaking fast from every manufacturer. You're not wanting for horsepower. You know what I mean? And it looks like they've got the resources to make those bikes handle the right way. And it seems like it's a solid team. That'd be my only nitpicky thing, and that could just be rumors, right? The bikes could be phenomenal for all I know. Hell. But no, I think it'd be cool to see him on like a RMATV, MC, SQ, TUP, WX bike. But I think it's we'll see. I definitely agree with you that his Supercross skills got to get jacked up a little bit more. And
that's all it is, honestly. Yeah. Like if
not that he's bad now. I think he's good.
Put a heater in, and he has improved.
Yeah,
obviously,
for sure.
We're a long ways away from Salt Lake 2020 when he couldn't stay off the ground.
Yeah.
But if he tighten that up, I could see him on one of those teams like we've mentioned, the RMATV of the world, the Hep Suzukis of the world. Like I don't like at no point do I see him getting signed to he's not going to be Justin Brayton, who was at one point racing arena cross on a 2-stroke to in the mid 2000s to being on factory Honda 2 different times.
Yeah, you remember those days, man?
Oh, Jesus. Him and Brad Hagseth battling. Like, it just like, what? It blows your mind that those are the same guy.
Yeah.
Like, 114 on a NDK KTM is Justin Brayton. So is factory Honda twice Justin Brayton.
Crazy, dude. And that just hats off to the dude for just going that fast, dude, and being so like solid. Just so solid.
Yeah.
So that kind of covers what we have for the 450s. I know more things are going to start disseminating down the line. In another couple of weeks, we'll start hearing more official announcements of teams that are coming up for the 450 class. 250, we don't really have as much changing around when it comes to the 250s unless we look at the amateur side. Now, we don't talk about amateurs too much, you and I, Brad. Manny, that is definitely his wheelhouse. He is the amateur guru, amateur master. But for this purpose, I want to get into a little bit of amateur stuff with you. So the big ones being, Chance Hymas getting signed to that HRC deal. We just had Boy Deegan.
Mertz.
officially, yep, shout out to Mertz, making things happen. Danger Boy Deegan got signed up to the Blue Crew team.
Not Mertz, but still a great deal.
Not Mertz, still phenomenal deal, and we'll talk about the deal in a little bit. And then
that's a Monster tie-in, right? Like that's Deegan and Monster, and him not going to pro circuit.
Yeah, I think they talked about it a little bit on Gypsy, but I feel like it was a move of just like, hey, this is the fastest, best bike out there, the best chance to get a title, the best chance to, knock some people around and do good.
Dude,
but
let's be completely honest.
A lot of common
sponsors.
It's
not 2003 anymore. I love Pro Circuit Kawasaki. At one point, I modeled my get up, the way I approached racing. I had the gear, I had the graphics, the whole 9 yards. And I still, to this day, Mitch Payton should be on somebody's money.
Yeah.
But the best bike in the class right now, the most dominant team on the class right now, Star Racing Yamaha.
Exactly.
They win all the championships.
Still got the same sponsors, dude. He's still got Monster, Thor, 100%. He can bring over.
This was a lateral move.
It was
onto a better motorcycle.
Exactly. And the one thing that I want to talk about also is,
and KTM hasn't had any success in that class,
dude. Well, that's the thing. If I'm KTM, right, and
the last champion on a KTM. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, good.
The last championship on a KTM in the 250 class.
Is that Kenny?
Marv.
Okay. Huh.
Marvin 250 East.
That's
that long ago. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can't think of another one.
So that's the thing. That's what I want to talk
about. Osborne, but.
I guess.
It's same motorcycle. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean though? Like that. KTM itself has not had a lot of success. So
that's what I want to talk about too. Is you've got a kid like Danger Boy Deegan, so he's fast, winning a lot of dominant in the super mini class, in mini cycles in general. For that point, he's got a following that rivals like The Rock. You know what I mean? Him and his family. He's got a lot of Moto, a lot of endorsement deals, a lot of like great stuff. A powerhouse in terms of attention, talent, and just grandiose following around him, right? Why, if I was KTM, I would dump as much money and as much resources at this kid and his family and the team to try to make him that next great, because Cowie's got two. Cowie's got Jet Reynolds and Ryder DiFrancesco coming and knocking on the damn door saying that we're trying to take this class back for Cowie. Then
don't tell Faulkner, but those kids are coming.
Those kids are coming quick. Then for Yamaha, dude, you've got Fry, you've got Romano, you've got LeBlanc, you've got Kitchen on there. All these fast kids that are fast as shit that are coming up. Then you've got Chance Hymas on the Honda. You know what I mean? I'm sure people knew about that a couple, starting a while ago. You've got all these fast kids that are on your competitor bikes. Why would you not fight harder for Deegan?
You know why it is? You know what I think it is?
What's that?
There's two reasons. Maybe they see something that we don't. We see like great production value. Kids got tons of speed. Like you can edit anyone to look fast. Hell, I'm sure if Tommy Tenders did a video of me, he'd probably like make me look half decent. I'm fucking brutal. And they got this other kid coming, Casey Cochran, and I think he's legit. I think he is the real deal. He's spending one more year on little bikes, and then he's going to be on a factory gas. I think they got Evan Ferry coming in. He's going to be fucking fast.
Yeah. And
same thing with who else do they got there? Well, you have Max Boland, who's 17 years old. Like they do have kids in the pipeline, and I think that they're sort of like they're keeping their eggs in that basket.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think like this might not have even been a decision that KTM could make. I think the decision was made far and away that it was going to be a Star Racing Yamaha when that kid turned pro. So and they got that. Yeah, like I think Brian Deegan is of the mind, or it's good for business to be on the absolute best team on the best bike with the best support in that class, and where the motorcycle is a lot more there than it is in the 450 class, and I think it's a good move.
With that logic, I think I agree with that. I'm just saying I don't think the kids that you mentioned, I don't think we see that they're as big of a powerhouse as some of the other teams. Like, dude, you're talking about Ryder D and Jet Reynolds and Matt.
Hell yeah.
Romano.
Those
dude,
two kids.
Goliaths, dude.
Don't get me started. Jet Reynolds turning pro. Dude, what do you think of the number? 709.
I was bummed on that, dude.
I would have gone 779
or 179.
179, 379. Like, yeah. You do it 479.
Right?
Like,
yeah. I don't know.
I don't love the throwing a zero between your two-digit number. Yeah, I don't like that.
But anyway,
now we're just talking about the fashion of motocross.
Right? No, but I'm saying I think, again, and not knocking any amateurs. All these guys are so phenomenal. I'm a huge fan of all of them. But I wonder, I'm like, man, those kids aren't really that proven yet. Do you want to put your eggs all in, like, you know, hey, he's going to be something great, you know, in that basket, or hey, choose the guy who's great now, you know what I mean? And let's foster. But again, they're seeing stuff that you and I have no visibility to. So it could be a whole.
Deegan's awesome. Like he's gonna win races at the pro level
for sure.
But at the same time, he's also been like, it's not like he wins every single championship he lines up for.
Yes.
Like, there is other kids that show similar speed to him.
Yep.
These kids don't have like the same Instagram or YouTube following. Like, they're sort of waiting in the shadows. Like, honestly, we're talking about like guys on 250Fs. I think that Hayden Deegan, although 1 year younger, I think he's going to have his hands full with Chance Hymas and Ryder D.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking about a guy who, at this point, like, maybe he's like on paper the number one kid coming out of amateurs, but he might end up like, we could be talking about a third place guy.
Yeah. And you know what? You're right. I'm really excited to see what happens with Deegan on that Yamaha. Now, I think he's got some really fast teammates. So where do you think he's going to stack up against a Romano or a LeBlanc or a Kitchen?
If those guys went out for a team moto right now, you line up all of those Yamaha guys. Was there 10 of them? Let's count them off. We got J Mart.
Yep. Then you've got
Colt
Craig.
45.
Craig.
J Coop.
Yep.
Craig.
Then you've got Kitchen.
So 5.
Thrasher. Then you've got LeBlanc.
Romano.
Jarrett Fry, is he still on the team?
No, Fry's gone.
We missing
and Hayden Deegan.
Yeah. God damn.
7 guys. If they did a moto today, he's not top 5.
No, for sure. I don't think we expect him to be. I'm saying against the AM still. So against LeBlanc and Romano.
I think he would first of all, he got on a 250F
3 months ago.
Yeah. Like, come on. Like, the kids, like, we have all the kinds of video of him riding his dad's 450 and shit like that. But like, he hasn't seriously ridden a 250F that we know of very much in the last year or so. And those guys have been on, like, Romano has been on a 250F sit for
2 years,
almost 2 full years. And same thing with LeBlanc. He's just been hurt all the time.
Yeah.
So honestly, I would probably, he's third on the pecking order on his own damn team. And I would still put Ryder D ahead of him. And I would put, same thing with Hymas and same thing with Jet Reynolds. So, and like, honestly, like, if you want to talk about guys who have had like tons of upside and like great potential, but then weren't able to really produce, I'll show you a guy like, what's his name? Robertson.
Oh, Jet. Or sorry, Styles. Ugh.
Styles was like knocking down championship, like Horizon Award winner, this, that, and the other thing. And like, does he have a top 5 outdoors yet?
I don't think so.
2 full seasons. Like, hey, like, by all means, like, you give these guys a little bit of time to like develop. But like, if he's not like a weekend in, weekend out top 5 guy next year, like, sorry, man. Yeah.
No, I agree. And now,
like,
again,
I don't see him being Sean Cantrell.
No, that's a discussion. No, I
like
think he's
that
gonna do good.
Came back and raced dirt bikes though.
Yeah, I think it's rad. No, I'm stoked that we've got more talking points, more people moving up in the classes, more of a bigger team. So
we got
expect big things at a Deacon. I'm excited to see what happens with that one.
For sure.
Now you mentioned Ryder D, and there's something that I don't think many people realize was that this was his first year on big bikes. First year in 250Fs, and the guy looked great in practice. It's crazy to think,
because I remember that kid literally on 50s.
On the P dubs, like small 50s.
Yeah.
And
like
it's his first year. Yeah, first year in big bikes, training with the best of them, right? And unfortunately missed Loretta's. So that opened the door for a lot of people. And not saying that he would have dominated the Loretta's by any means. Maybe he would have, maybe he wouldn't. But you saw riders like Chance Hymas in the A class, who was lights out fast, dude. I don't think maybe he got one title, but I think he had some issues during the motos. But dude, Chance Hymas was one of the fastest guys there all week, and I'm talking like up there with Kitchen and in the expert class, kicking ass. So fast forward a couple months after Loretta's, and you line up Ryder D versus Chance Hymas. Hymas, who has been in the A class, has been on big bikes for a while, has had these great rides, and Ryder D, maybe 6 months, 7-8 months on a big bike, freaking goes out there and beats him in his first combine race, then does it again. It's like, holy crap, how fast is this Ryder D kid to where he's already Loretta's expert pace with only 8 months on the bike?
Dude, I hate
how
to
is anyone going to be able to cover that kid?
Unless this kid runs into some injury trouble, and he's a real deal. Him and Hymas are both like, that is the future for both those brands in that class. By the time those guys are out of their rookie season, Jet Lawrence will have and all those guys will have moved on to the 450 class, and we're going to have so much depth of talent in the 250 class in and around that time. It's going to be absolutely nuts. It's going to be like the Bar X Suzuki guys are going to have some guys. Star Racing Yamaha is going to continue to grow. I think we're going to see a resurgence of Pro Circuit Kawasaki, because you know what, like Faulkner, he hasn't forgotten how to go fast. I think he's just dealt with a ton of injuries and a bunch of things that have been like huge downturn on his like self-image, all that fun stuff. And then I think there's a serious possibility of like guys like Max Volan taking a step, the Husky guys taking a step.
Yep.
Like there's going to be so many guys just at the front of this pack battling it out for wins, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I'm stoked to see that, man. I'm really amped, and that makes me wonder, like, because we have all this talent being pushed through to the Kawasaki program, does that mean it's going to force Kawi to come up with some new development and make their bikes that much faster to give those guys a fighting chance versus the Yamaha and the Honda, which have only started to get faster and better. So I think that is going to be a really, really cool, exciting development, man. From somebody who in motor development, I'm really amped to see what happens with the Cowies. Chance Hymas to Honda, you like that move? You think he's got some good company with those Lawrence brothers or what?
I do. Anytime that you can align yourself with the Honda HRC, I think you do that. I firmly believe in that. That is an organization. They're the world's biggest small engine manufacturer for a reason. Working directly in-house with the powers that be that can make those changes and implement just the research and development that you just talked about for the Kawasaki. I think that's a platform that still has a lot of potential to do great things. And I really expect those guys to roll out the red carpet for him. He gets his own gear deal, which I think is a 4-year contract with Fly Racing, which is so cool. Yep. It's a lot of guaranteed money for a kid who is looking to set himself up and make some noise in the pros. He's working with Jake Weimer. He's got his dad's a Honda guy growing up, all that fun stuff. They got a facility with like outdoor track, Supercross track. And if they give him the time to develop, and that's another thing with the Lawrences on the 250 class right now, like no pressure at all. Come in, do your thing, kid, develop, and we'll see you in 2023 for some championships and stuff like that, I think that Chance Hymas has put himself in a position to make some serious noise in the 250 class for years to come.
I think it's going to be cool. It's going to be in great company. Like you mentioned, we've got a lot of great talent that's going to be coming through the pipeline. And then that feeds up into the 450. So we're going to have a treat of motocross for the next half a decade, even longer. So it's going to be freaking phenomenal, and they're only getting faster. They're only going to start coming up even greater in numbers.
All the way up till 2035 when Kawasaki is committing to going electric only.
And I cannot wait. That is going to be fucking rad.
It's going to be rad. But like my dad was like today, he was like, oh, like electric by 2035. I'm like, you realize that is as far in the future as James Stewart going undefeated on a 450, carbureted 450 outdoors. Like,
we got time.
Yeah, we got time. Like,
we got time.
You know what I mean? Like, it does feel like a while ago. Like One Industries hoodies and a big monster claw. Like that was the time.
That was the time.
Yeah, like flat brim One Industries hats. We all have them. It's been a while. I mentioned the pickle earlier. Like, Moto playground, baby.
That's good. I love that. Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be cool. And Brad, I'm sure you know. I was talking to Jace from Gypsy Tales about this. I feel like this is universal.
Good friend of mine.
All of us moto kids, like we've all run into the issues where we want to ride in our backyards, we want to ride at our local pit or the local track, and we're always getting shut down because of noise ordinance. We're keeping people up in the middle of the day or whatever the crap is, right? Cops are coming.
People up in the middle of the day. You're a wordsmith.
No, dude, seriously, I got in trouble because some old lady wanted to sleep in the middle of the day, like 2 p.m., and my dirt bike, my little 60 or 80 or whatever, was making too much noise.
Yeah. And then you just like be like, all right, thanks, old lady. I'm gonna go.
No, dude, called the cops and my parents and everything. We're in our own backyard, a couple acres of backyard, whatever. Still, and like to know that that's not going to be an issue in the future, where literally we could have.
I thought you lived in a free country. We're not.
Yeah, right. Like you wouldn't know about this old lady yelling at me. But no, like think about how many kids are going to be able to ride in their own backyard. You're not going to have to travel freaking 4 hours to your local track. Your parents aren't going to have to know motors in and out, backwards and forwards to be able to own a dirt bike for you. You literally just plug and unplug, wash it, lube the chain, and you're done. I think the barrier to entry for this sport is going to be so much less. I mean, obviously it's always going to be an expensive sport, but just think about how many people are like, hey, I don't know how to mix gas. I don't know what to do with this loud engine. I don't know how to rebuild
if you forget to mix the gas and all of a sudden the engine melts down.
All that stuff. And this is so plug and play that I'm excited to see what happens. We're going to have an explosion in our industry with just so many people coming in because, again, it takes out a barrier of entry, one more hurdle for people who are new to our sport. So I don't think it's really going to be beneficial to me and you, people who are going to be older and who already have our shit established. But for people who are newer, maybe your kids in the future, Brad, that's going to it's going to be so much easier to get that developed, and I'm excited to see what happens with that one.
Brad, kidding. Honestly, if you think of it that way, if I was to have a kid this year, I'm not even married, so that's probably a low chance ability.
Yeah.
By the time the kid is racing like 80s essentially, or like the last year on 80s, which would be 13 years from now, that's 2035. They'd be on an electric 80, although I guess we already have electric 50s. So
it's only a matter of time, and it's coming. It's definitely coming.
And I honestly I'd probably rather go electric than stay 4 strokes. I'm still holding out that we go back to 2 strokes one day, and that's never happening. So
I hear you.
I'll stay on a 2-stroke.
There you go. Hold it down for both of us. So Brad, I know this is premature. I'm going to ask you this every week that we do this.
That is how you usually operate,
or at least every time that you're on, because I want to see how this changes. Now we don't have as much information, as much data, video, however you quantify speed on a dirt bike, right? Leading up to Anaheim 1. From what you've seen with the changeover of riders and the whole musical bike situation, who do you think is your top pick right now, most things unseen, for a 22 champion?
Your 2022 Monster Energy 450 Supercross champion will be Eli Tomac.
Okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting.
I think he gets it done. Yeah.
Okay. I'm calling Ferrandis right now, but
you know what? Change my pick.
Who you going with?
AC.
Okay.
AC wins his first race and his first championship in that class same year. Adam Cianciarulo this year.
Interesting. So now, if everyone that's watching, the two people, everyone's watching, see how this changes. We're both going to change our minds. I guarantee you in like another 3-4 weeks. So it's going to be.
I just changed it in like 3 seconds.
Exactly. This is good. This is going to be exciting. Brad, this was super fun. I'm glad we got a chance to do this, guys. If you are interested in doing an experience that I will say is unparalleled, one that propels you in the sport, one that helps you stay connected, that gets you connections that you've never even imagined possible. We got one for you. It's the Collective Experience. You know the channel. You know what we're about. We get you behind the scenes like no other for career opportunities, for hands-on experiences that are just unmatched. We've had so many interns come through our program, boys, girls, interns for mechanics, interns for team managers, interns for gear companies that have gone on to do some incredible stuff full-time in the industry. And we're really excited. Brad's a big supporter of our program, and he's just one of the many people you'll meet when you come to the races with us. Check it out. We've got some big things coming.
January 8th, baby.
January 8th. We got some big things coming. Flight. We got some big things coming for Arena Cross too. So don't forget our Arena Cross program is extremely accessible for all of you that aren't able to travel as far. Want to keep it just a little bit more insular, maybe not as grandiose of an event, but still get the same output, the same connections, the same level of immersion. Check out
even better. Because your access at an Arena Cross race is going to be way better than you'll ever get at Supercross.
Exactly, and that's what we tell people all the time.
You guys show up to an Arena Cross race, you might end up being head referee.
Exactly, dude, it's great. And the level of connections that we're making on our Arena Cross side, it's ridiculous. It takes so much less.
I want to take the trophy girl home.
Yeah, that nervousness isn't there for a lot of people. The Arena Cross program is definitely the ticket if you're not able to travel far. If you want that more inclusive feel, less restrictions, check out our Arena Cross program, which is launching this week. So it's going to be up on the website. I want to say thank you.
Are you doing that with Crutcher again, or is that with you guys not friends anymore?
Crutcher's got a great program going for this year. You got to get to one, Brad. Why don't we just race one? You come down.
Border opens November, baby.
Let's go. Are you going to go to Anaheim and all these other ones?
Yeah, I actually have a job where I have vacation days now.
Yes.
And I can actually structure those vacation days around taking like a Friday off.
You're on camera right now. I'm going to ask you, can we commit you to Detroit, Minneapolis?
Yes.
And can we commit you to some Anaheims?
I'm going to at least Anaheim 1. I know that.
Okay. I like that. There's really no excuse for Minneapolis and Detroit. No excuse.
Yeah, I'm thinking my tour will likely look like I'd like to go to Anaheim 1.
Yeah.
Atlanta, Detroit, Mini, and
dude, come to Foxborough. Come to my land, dude.
Maybe Foxborough.
My stomping ground.
Maybe if I have to look at flights.
Yeah, so we'll make it happen. We'll get a good routine going. So thank you to our amazing sponsors. Shout out to FXR, to Flow Vision Goggles, Overshear Advice and Planning, Intake Breathing Systems. All of these great companies have done so amazing things, as well as EVS, which just came on board with us. So thank you to EVS. Check out our codes that are going to be listed below. We're extremely grateful for all of the amazing, phenomenal support that we're getting from our sponsors. And guys, check out the rest of our content. And I would be remiss if I did not mention Big MX Radio has some of the most funniest, some of the most comprehensive and informative podcasts that are out. Brad is a wealth of knowledge, and he keeps it interesting. He's not boring you with just basic facts. He's making it interesting in a way where you will really, really be enthralled. Brad, you want to say something?
I was going to say, I actually got a compliment on episodes featuring you this last Saturday at the track. And that guy's like, dude, you got to have that Dave Drakes guy on some more. I like having him on. I was like, I was shocked and appalled, and I immediately checked that person into a mental institution.
Yeah, I paid him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I didn't know you were good friends with Marcus Giesbrecht, but that by saying that, yeah, we've got some episodes coming up. We're going to do our part 2 with Doug Henry. We recently did an episode with Shea Bentley. So yeah, we're rolling it out. And yeah, it's going to be lots of fun, guys. So check out Big MX Radio, and be sure to support the sponsors that support Dave's show. He works hard to keep those guys happy, and we should work hard to give those sponsors some love. And yeah, it would be awesome if you guys did that. Like promo code or not, save yourself some money, support the sponsors that support the sport.
Exactly. With that, Brad, we're going to continue to keep doing these on a regular basis. We're going to get you on a lot more.
I'll make time for you.
I got to get you and Manny on there so you can make fun of me the whole time. It's going to be great for you.
Yeah.
Shitty for me.
Oreo
great for you.
Part of the cookie.
Exactly. This is fun. Guys, hit that subscribe button. Be sure to share this video. Check out Big MX Radio, and we will see you on the next one. Until then, be good.